All right, guys. Just watched the end of the game. UCLA just took their final kneel down 24-17 in favor of the Bruins. And yeah, it kind of went the way that I expected at the end of the day. We couldn't stop UCLA's rushing attack, and the offense just isn't good enough to keep up. They put together some good drives in the middle of the game, but when it came down to it, they just weren't able to keep up. So, before I talk about the specifics in this game, the stream tonight was fun. We didn't get a ton of people because I know a game like this is not that interesting to the general public. Two unranked teams in a conference that is generally considered to be very bad right now, but we had around 50 people for a good chunk of the night, so we had a lot of fun. I want to thank everybody for coming out. So, yeah, we didn't have a lot of fun watching this game. It was kind of a dull game, and it didn't go the way that I was hoping. So, yeah, it's just something that you do when you're a fan. So, oh boy. Once again, we play another team that cannot threaten us down the field with their quarterback. They can't really threaten us anywhere on the field with their quarterback. They have a quarterback who is only really capable of throwing screens and checkdowns and dump offs. Just keeps it really simple, keeps everything in front of him, and we still can't stop the run. 250 rushing yards later, or whatever it was. And I'm not surprised by it anymore because I see it in every game we play. But seeing it just, it does infuriate you no matter how much you come to expect it. This team has enough talent on this defense, and they have the coaches who I know are capable of putting together a good defense because Jimmy Lake did it for years, to where you should be able to at least stop the run. And they can't do it. They can't do it. Where I don't know what needs to be done to fix it, right? Because when you keep Jimmy Lake as your head coach, when you lose Chris Peterson, you would think that you at least maintain your defensive competency, but we haven't. For 2 weeks in a row now, 2 weeks in a row, we have played a team that did not threaten us with the passing game hardly at all, and we still got run all over. So I don't really know what to say about it at this point. It's infuriating to watch. Particularly infuriating would be all the times our defensive players get run over and give up 4 or 5 extra yards on these running plays. And the offense, look, I don't know if he's terrible. I don't know if he's as bad as a lot of the people think he is. I don't know if he's truly the abominable player that he developed the reputation of being against the. I'm sorry, not against, but when he was at Penn State. But I know we can do better than John Donovan. I know we can do better. And I'm not saying he did a terrible job tonight. I don't necessarily think he did. But I know we can do better. And right now at 2-4, with whatever hopes you had of having a salvageable season kind of leaving, I think that you have to start thinking about this season as the priority is to move off of Jimmy Lake and John Donovan by the end of the season, especially John Donovan. And the players don't help either. I cannot believe how bad we are at run blocking. That's the thing on the offense that probably shocks me the most, because Dylan Morris being mediocre at best, that doesn't surprise me. He's not that good. We know that. He's a stopgap QB while we get Heward ready next year. But this offensive line not being able to run block at all shocks me. And this is not the first time we've seen it this year. First game of the year against Montana, we couldn't run the ball. And as this game went on, we got a little bit better. Their defense wore down a little bit, and it was okay. Had some nice Wildcat plays. Pleasant had some nice runs, but this was a team that needed to control games on the ground, and we just don't. So I'm pretty much over it at this point. Like, this game, losing this game, whatever. Losing is going to make it easier to fire some of these guys at the end of the season. So I'm not saying I'm rooting for losses, but at this point, I just have to shrug my shoulders and be like, whatever. This team is not making a bowl game. This team is not going to have a winning record. This team is not achieving even a modicum of their goals that they set out before the season started. So it kind of went the way that I expected. I will say that I think I think the defense did a better job getting off the field occasionally than I expected. There were moments in this game where it looked like Washington had taken control. We had it 17-17, had scored 14 unanswered. We got the ball back on defense. We were driving on offense. And then everything turned from there. How does a train that is building up so much forward momentum and so much kinetic energy just stop? Everything was going our way from the end of the first half to I would say like the end of the third quarter, and couldn't sustain. Shout out to Radley Giles on the defense. He was one of the guys on defense who I thought really played an effective game, but I can't believe how invisible our linebackers are right now against the run. You know they're going to run the ball. All they do is run the ball and throw checkdowns and screen passes. How can you not understand how to stop that? Okay, so that's really all I can say about this game. I'm not too shocked by anything, but it never gets any easier watching a defense that you are used to being great. Like, this defense was great for years. And now they can't touch the run. I'm sorry, they can't stop the run. They can't touch these running backs sometimes. So I don't know what the rest of the season holds for us. I'm pretty much giving up on any possibility of a winning record, like I said, but there are some things on this team that I want to see do better going forward, so I have some belief for next year. Like, at this point, Dylan Morris is obviously not going to be the starting QB next year. It's going to be either Sam Heward or somebody else. So it doesn't matter about him. Guys like Sean McGrew, not going to be here next year. Kamari Pleasant's not going to be here next year. But there are some guys on this team who are very young, who we need to start seeing. We need to see what we have going forward. And I have to have this conversation, I think. We're not quite there with the Seahawks yet, but we are headed there. So both of my sports teams, both of my football teams, it's not fun right now. It's not cool right now. It's bringing back when I was in college. This is the crap I had to deal with when I was in college. 2008, 2009, Seahawks, awful. Huskies, historically awful. So, I I don't know. Disappointed. I was angry for a few minutes after that game ended, or as the game was coming to a close, but at this point, what's it matter? What's it really worth? So, I'll see you guys tomorrow for the Seahawks stuff. And all I can say is that hopefully this at least gets some people out of here who don't need to be here anymore. Hopefully this season is bad enough for us to realize that Jimmy Lake ain't it, John Donovan ain't it, and I guess I'll just leave it at there. It's hard to even talk about this team because they do the same thing every week. Second week in a row, we can't stop a team that is one-dimensional. And we can't do anything about it. All right, see you guys later. Bow down to Washington. Bad season. But they have to happen eventually, right?